So yeah, here we are back again. We just wanted to like make it into shorter videos. So the next one will be, I don't know, about your first trip to India with the very first group, like Guruji invited you.
Yeah.
In case you haven't seen it, check out the the last video. And who else was joining? And I said you just like finished your university, or you just decided to quit it, or just, I don't know, how did you afford all of this? And
Yeah, I was
how was your personal situation back then? Yeah.
my own personal life. I was contemplating going. I had gotten a degree.
A what?
A degree. I got
Oh.
a credential in. I got a Bachelor of Arts in sociology and psychology,
Mm-hmm.
and I was going to go into teaching, like elementary school, high school, not college level, not university level. So I needed some more class time, and I was going to go back in the fall, but I just kind of blew it off. I was like full on, like, this is my life,
is the
yoga.
thing.
I was
Yes,
like,
yes.
this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Fuck that
I can feel it.
Fuck
yeah.
that stuff. I don't want to do that. I was kind of frustrated with the whole school system, and I didn't agree with it, but I was kind of following suit because that's what you were supposed to do. And it felt good. It felt like there was something of meaning, and so I was pursuing that. And then I found a job in a vegetarian restaurant, and I was working there at in the nighttime.
Oh, okay.
So I was working, it wasn't too late. It wasn't like something that would go on all night and drinking and all that. It was a vegetarian restaurant. So I would work there, and that's where I made my money. And just, led a very simple lifestyle, and just accumulated money
Mm-hmm.
and gathered up enough money to go to India. So my main focus was just practicing.
Yeah.
It was practicing every
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
getting
yeah,
deeper into it, and thinking about India, making money and putting money in the
Yeah.
bank. I was going to India. So 1 year later, I think it was maybe September, October, 6 of us went to Mysore. And it was the 2 teachers
Like
that
David
held
and
down.
Nancy.
No. The teachers that worked under David and Nancy.
Ah, okay.
His name was Gary Lopadoda.
I heard his name. Yeah.
Now he goes as Anthony. And then Brad Ramsey, who has now passed away.
Oh, okay.
He
yeah.
was living in Maui, and very sad story, actually. He was an ex heroin addict, and he kind of slipped off the path, dropped yoga completely, and got back into not heroin, but he started drinking again, and then just slipped into a dark hole.
I heard about these 2 names or read about it, but they are not
Yeah.
very like.
They were brilliant teachers,
Yeah.
amazing, and how they worked together in the room.
Oh, okay.
Gary was more boisterous and more demanding, and Brad was a little bit more zen-like and very, not very many words. He was very stiff, very strong. Gary was strong and super flexible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he could do everything. He was like amazing. He was like a circus acrobat, But those 2 guys went, me, and then this woman named Lynn, and this other guy named Pistachio. He had a funny, hippie name. And then one other guy, Brad's girlfriend at the time, Sherry. So I think that makes about 6. And then Hans, this guy from Germany.
Okay.
Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
That
he was
a
hooked up
German
with
guy.
Lynn.
I didn't know that there was a German guy.
Yeah,
like
he was.
that.
Yeah, he kind of
Hans.
he disappeared, and like,
Oh,
where did
okay.
Hans go? The Germans.
Yeah.
So yeah, we showed up at his doorstep. He was very, very happy, and he fit us in his room. His room.
So you flew all that together in one plane,
Yeah.
and the travel was all kind of arranged to just go there.
Yeah, we
Oh.
flew through Sri Lanka. We went to Sri Lanka, stayed there for a few days. Sri Lanka was like amazing, mind blowing, And then from Sri Lanka, we went to we flew into Madras. Yeah, I think Madras, and then we took the train to Bangalore down into Mysore, and then we landed there, and we were like, he told us, Pattabhi Jois told us to go to the Kaveri Lodge, and it was like this very simple hotel in Lakshmipuram where he was originally. And so we landed in like the train station, and we were like, Kaveri Lodge, and everyone was like,
yeah, this is how I imagine.
Kaveri Lodge. We showed them the name. They don't. We're like, Jesus, like, how are we getting? And then one rickshaw wala, he was like, oh, Kaveri Lodge, and we were like, okay, Kaveri Lodge. So
suddenly everyone understood, yeah.
Yeah, finally they understood. It was like we were saying Kaveri Lodge, and it was Kaveri Lodge. And so we loaded up in several rickshaws, and we went to this very simple hotel, put our stuff in there, and then we went to, Ashtanga Yoga Research Institute, and everybody knew where that was in Lakshmipuram. It was just down the road from the Kaveri Lodge. And so we landed there. Simple little house, very, very simple living. Him and his wife were there, him and Amma. And I think Saraswati was living there also with Sharat and Sharmila. And so there was the family, and we were greeted, and we signed up and started practicing. And
he was back then, he was the same age as you are now, which is like 60 something? Or?
Well, I think when he landed in America in 78, I think he was around 62, something like that. I'm 60, I'm going to be 65 in November.
Yeah.
So around the same age. So it's interesting because Radha was bringing that up earlier, that, and I've talked with my friend Tim Miller in California, and he was one of the old timers too at that particular time in Encinitas. And we've been kind of talking, and we're like, God, we're just like, Gurji was just getting started now, and it was like, just getting started.
Yeah.
Like, I've already been into it for over 40 years, and Pattabhi, he started, and he was probably into it for 45, 50 years, something like that. And then in his 60s, that's when all the Westerners started showing up, and then it got more and more popular. After 79 and us being there, and we stayed on for 6 months. Actually, I stayed on for 6 months.
Yeah.
Everybody stayed there for 3 months, because that's all they could kind of really
arrange,
and they had to get back. But I stayed on another 3 months. And actually, I went traveling, and I got sick, and I came back and, practiced again with him. But that was the first trip. And then the following year, he went to Hawaii. And then there was like maybe 80 people or 90 people. So the amount of people started growing.
Yeah, what?
And he started doing regular tours, or people would go to him, and then he would do, he would go to Southern California or Hawaii at that time in the early 80s. And again, the family was growing, and everybody knew each other, and it was cool, like the hippie group, And
then back in India, like when you were first, like how did the day like look like? You would just like, you all went there in the morning, you practiced together, and then it was just, I mean, he invited you like in his house sometimes.
Yeah.
So like, what did you do as a group, or did you like study philosophy, or did you just smoke weed and hang around? I don't know.
We didn't really, venture out and look for, all the drugs and stuff. we were pretty high, just being there.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And so we were kind of like, okay, let's take a break on smoking. And,
okay.
And not, we don't need that.
Yeah.
So we were just kind of venturing out, and then on certain days, it wasn't every day, but he would invite us into his house. His wife would make us coffee. She would give us some sweets. We would kind of hang out and just chit chat. And then sometimes it would turn into more of a formal thing where we would sit and do pranayama with him, or there'd be some kind of discussion about yoga. It was kind of intermittent, not every day, every other day, something, I don't know. And but it was really a special time.
Yeah. And did you practice, like I heard sometimes like he made you practice in the evening as well, or like sometimes I read like in the morning you practice like this, and in the evening this, or Like how did the
It was
practice
always
how
in
did
the
the
morning.
practice look like for you? Like,
It was early morning. After he had an Indian class,
mm-hmm.
and then it was dark, so it was really early in the morning. These people would come, they would practice, then they'd go off to work, and then we came right after that.
Okay.
And his shala was very, very small, and there was no windows. It was just like
Yeah, I've seen the
four
video.
walls,
Yeah.
and you could fit 10 people in there, mat to mat. You know, like four mats, and then 2 in the middle, and crammed in there. So, yeah.
Cool. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.